We reason in Sacra Doctrina from the revealed principles, the articles of the faith, the deposit of faith, the deposit of fide, the depositum fidei. This is very important because when you read Aquinas, it can seem that this is just a really intellectual guy who's thinking a lot of things, and he just might be a rationalist. Even though he talks about faith, logic, reasoning, discursive movements at great length appear. However, if we understand the nature of the Sacra Doctrina as a science, we see that no, Aquinas is not a rationalist, and those that follow his teaching do not fall prey to the hubris of human logic. Because Aquinas and all Catholics are never at all tempted to think that the revealed principles of the Sacra Doctrina, the Scientia Dei et Beatorum, the science of God and the saints, are themselves things that we can reason to, properly speaking. I can't prove them because they're too far above me. However, I can reason from them. So the Sacra Doctrina uses reason, uses arguments, uses discursive tools, even tools in philosophy, even tools in science, to understand better through analogies, through metaphors, but also to defend, to remove any doubt, because one thing is absolutely certain, is that logic, philosophy, science, humanities, medicine, art, none of these natural things can ever invalidate or disprove the truth, the necessity, and the power of God's divine teaching. Because all of those things are limited, and God is unlimited, He's infinite. So the reasoning, the logic of the Sacra Doctrina is a logic which protects the principles. And any objection which comes from ill-disposed people, from well-disposed people, of whatever sort, logic can both make more clear what God has revealed, its intrinsic intelligibility, and dispel, disprove objections to the Sacra Doctrina. But again, we're not proving the Trinity. We're not proving any of the articles of the faith. We're removing objections to the Trinity, for example, to the articles of the faith. But within the Sacra Doctrina, within the light of faith, reason does not take a nap. It does not take a vacation. It is not on spring break. In the Sacra Doctrina, reason becomes even more powerful, even more reasonable, because it reasons from, this time, not just natural principles which are evident to everybody, but those divine principles which are evident to God and to the saints alone, but that He has shown us. And now, before, reason had a certain limited starting point, because it was only per se nota, only those self-evident principles from which reason could work. But within the Sacra Doctrina, which is from God, reason is now bumped up and begins to contemplate, to consider, to examine, to explain, to articulate the unity, the relation, the intelligibility of this holy teaching, and to defend from those who might try to attack or disprove, even though it's impossible, this holy teaching, and to enter more profoundly into it. We might say, some might say, that the most faith-filled people, the most saintly Christians, Catholics, are those who believe everything on blind faith. And by that they mean when they accept the deposit of faith, when they accept the revelation of God, they say, I don't have to understand this. My mind does not need to work anymore. But that actually is not a sign of sanctity. It's not a sign of holiness. Sanctity and holiness is when we, in our deepest parts of our being, are transformed, conformed to the reality that we know and we love. And so for Thomas, what we see is that his very rigorous, logical, rational, discursive contemplation is not an insult to divine charity, to divine love, but it's a profound expression of it. Because St. Thomas takes seriously the fact that we are called to love the Lord our God with all our heart and with all our mind.